This time of year, you double down on cheer. So does Dunkin'. That's why they have twice the signature lattes with minty peppermint mocha and creamy toasted white chocolate, both handcrafted with rich espresso. Grab one today. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.
This is the Washington Times front page for Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. President Biden is seeking ways to cut costs for homebuyers by trimming fees associated with loans and eliminating title insurance for some borrowers. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau announced it's examining all closing costs for finalizing the purchase of a home, including origination fees, credit report fees, and appraisal fees. That comes alongside a presidential plan to eliminate title insurance requirements on some federally backed mortgages. The move, Susan Frietchier reports, has had the effect of rattling the mortgage industry and brought swift backlash from insurance companies. They say the president's plan smacks of pure politics and would do little to lower housing costs while raising risks for buyers and taxpayers. Mortgage rates have more than doubled during the president's administration, and the National Association of Realtors says 2023 was the slowest year for existing home sales since 1995. Rising costs and inflation remain a major political problem for Biden as the November election approaches. Jeff Murdoch reports Americans are blaming the president for soaring prices, and high food costs have hit key Democratic constituencies, including minority voters and lower middle-class families. The president has accused large corporations of price gouging and engaging in shrinkflation, or reducing the size of a product while prices either rise or remain the same. Economists, however, argue Biden isn't addressing the key culprit for soaring prices, government spending. They say corporate price increases are a symptom, not a cause, of inflation. The Supreme Court sounded inclined in oral arguments to give the government-wide latitude to secretly pressure social media companies to silence dissenting voices. The case, Alex Sawyer and Stephen Dinan report, grew out of efforts by federal officials to try to police pandemic and election fraud claims with which they disagreed, as well as a challenge by social media users and two Republican-led states that said the government had crossed a line by suggesting consequences for platforms that didn't comply. Many of the justices worried about blocking the FBI from warning platforms about terrorist accounts or dangerous challenges aimed at teens, and suggested that government officials need the ability to flag what they consider worrying content. The case is one of several major social media tests the court is deciding this term as it grapples with claims of free speech, censorship, and liability. Pro-Palestinian demonstrations nationwide have grown more powerful and focused, even scoring some policy concessions from the White House. Jeff Murdoch reports protesters have marched to condemn Israel's military assault on the Gaza Strip in response to Hamas's terrorist attack in October. They've strongly rebuked President Biden and his support for Israel's military offensive, with demonstrations breaking out closer to the president's protective bubble. Evidence shows the movement is pushing the administration to address the situation more forcefully. In November, Biden told reporters he would like a pause in the fighting so Hamas could release hostages. In late February, he told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that he feels very strongly about the need for a temporary ceasefire. The language change inches him slightly closer to critics within his own party, as well as younger Democrats who've demanded a permanent ceasefire. And finally, North Korea has launched its latest missiles a day after Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived to speak at the Summit for Democracy in South Korea. At the U.S.-led summit, Andrew Salmon reports Blinken talked up the dangers of disinformation warfare, underscoring the need to make sure that technologies sustain democratic values. No diplomacy is currently underway between the Koreas, and both sides are instead stepping up military drills. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.
This time of year, you double down on cheer. So does Dunkin'. That's why they have twice the signature lattes with minty peppermint mocha and creamy toasted white chocolate, both handcrafted with rich espresso. Grab one today. America runs on Dunkin'. Price and participation may vary. Limited time offer. Terms apply.